This WDW Today listener question episode is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel. There's just a few days left to get your free copy of the Pocket Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World, the Mini Mickey. Book 3 nights or more by May 31st by visiting mousefantravel.com. Finding the best deals isn't magic, it's mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, May 28th, 2008, and this is episode 415 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from StudioCentral.com. On today's show, we have Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. And Len, were you trying to go before the show for that rating when you are CB? Is that
That's what it
CJ?
was.
Yeah.
CJ, CB, whatever. RJ.
I asked if everyone's
CK.
ready to go, and he said, "Yeah, I'm ready to go, CJ." And I'm doing the intro, and I'm thinking, he goes, "I think he was going for ready when you are, CB, from the beginning of the Great Movie Ride." Anyway,
Don't you hate it when people correct you? Jeez.
Next time there's gonna be profanity. Next time you ask me, I'm ready.
it's very inside, very inside.
Exactly.
Also on the show today, we have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Hi, Mike.
What is happening?
Everything and everything.
Oh, right.
Also on the show today, we have Mike Scopa of allears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Why should I trust the most expensive piece of research equipment to a boy with a snake around his neck?
Honey, I Shrink the Audience?
Yes.
Very good. And also joining us again, we have Annette Owen, the fabulous Annette Owens, excuse me, of MEI and MouseFan Travel. Welcome, Annette.
Woohoo! I think this is a record for the number of shows in a row that I've been on.
Yeah, with Newell missed the first 50 shows, so I think you're catching up with him.
Oh, she's got a ways to go.
Hardy ha ha.
It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions. And the first one is from Joey Phillip of Frisco, Texas, who writes, Matt, Mike, and Mr. Jack Daniels himself, Len Testa. I'm going to the world for the first weekend of Star Wars weekend. Sorry, Matt, but I don't think my 5-year-old boy would be able to sit through your dinner. Here's my question, though. I know this is probably not a question that some people will like, but I'm going to the world with my 5-year-old, just me and him, and I know I'm going to need some adult relaxation. What are some good adult beverages that one can enjoy at the parks besides a normal beer or wine? What are some of your favorites? I don't want to get hammered, just a little relaxed. We're staying at Scopa Towers, and I hear there's a poolside bar there. Is there a Scopa special cocktail? Thanks for all your help, and I hope to at least say hi to you, Matt, during Star Wars weekends.
Hey, did you hear that they closed the bar that was there?
Yes, they did.
The Concoctions Bar?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're making it a package pickup place now.
What?
Yeah.
How does booze get
You don't go
pushed
there,
out
Matt,
for
so
that?
what are you complaining about?
It's the principle of it, damn it. Booze has a place in this world, too.
Wow.
Anyway, beverages that, besides the normal, beer or something. Annette, I think we would be remiss if we did not mention the beloved
China.
Bellevue Bar at the Boardwalk.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good times have been had over there. I mean, and you can certainly get, I don't know if he's looking for places or good drinks. Maybe we should focus more on good drinks. You can get the Mike Newell special. Mike, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the drink that you, quote-unquote, discovered during Mousefest Cruise?
The BBC, which is
Yes.
it compiles Bacardis, some sort of banana flavor, and Baileys. And it's quite good.
Yeah, Newell discovered it, and he started luring other people. I think you're up to a couple. You have a small cult following now with your drink.
I think we're up to about 6 people now that order it when we go out. It's very good.
I've also heard good things about that drink in France. It's that orangey drink. I forgot the name of it. Does anyone remember the name?
Peach tea.
The Grand Marnier one?
Grand Marnier. No, not the peach tea in China.
Sorry, Len.
That's right.
No, but the Grand Marnier. I've heard good. Have you had that one?
I haven't, but our food snack researchers have, and they said it was fabulous. Lisa Meunier, you guys met her on the last research trip.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Annette, any recommendations for a drink? We all giggle because
I didn't say anything.
Oh, you got to stop by the tea cart. Get a nice peach slush.
It's a good drink. I had one. It was fine. I don't think I've ever stopped thanking Annette for introducing me to that.
Just make sure you ask for the slushy and not peach tea, because there is a big, huge difference.
I mean, I should have known, Mike. We should have known, when Len asked for that that when the day came that we were going to get the Dole Whip, we knew that we weren't going to get the right Dole Whip too.
That's right. Vanilla Dole Whip.
Next question is from Connor, who writes, "Hey guys, I've got a quick question for you all. Me and 2 other family members of mine are planning a trip to Disney World for mid-August, which is supposed to be a little less crowded time of the year, mostly 7s on the crowd calendar. We plan on staying at the beach club, but when we try to book it, there's only suites available. This leads me to maybe think that there will be a full-blown summer crowd there. What do you think about this time of the year? Any feedback or suggestions would be a lot of help."
I think that when you're talking mid-August, you're talking right around the 15th to the 17th, what used to be value season. And I think what happens there is that the families are no longer there. So that's why the suites are probably available, because everyone's going back to school. You've got soccer practice, you've got football practice. So the kids have to be in school. So that could be why there are suites available, and all the rooms are taken up, because you don't need that much room because there aren't that many families there from mid-August on.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, there's a point where you're going into August and it's high season, summer season, and then in August, Disney things change, and usually around, like Mike, you said, mid-August, because a lot of kids go back to school. Usually in the South, they start going back to school in mid-August, and certainly as the month goes on, the crowds tend to dwindle, right, Len?
Well, yeah, people have to do school shopping, and they've got to do all the other stuff. So the last, if they're going back to school, let's say the 4th week of August, then the 3rd week of August, they're pretty much prepping for that.
Yeah.
Which really gives you the 1st and 2nd week to have that vacation. That's when things start tailing off.
Next email's from Dave from Bel Air, Texas, who writes, "Hi guys, longtime listener and recently returned from a week at the World. I appreciate and use all my resources that you support, for example, web pages, book, and music, that either enhance my visit or keep me going, so to speak, between visits. 2 comments and a question, though. Love the peekaboo suggestion. I think that was Scopa there. Great food, quick service, and calm atmosphere. Great place to go after a busy day of running and snacking. I had the fruit bowl and chicken pot pie. Spoodle's breakfast, we've been several times, has gone way downhill, starting with surly hostess, slow service, and very average food. Too bad. It used to be
I agree.
Spoodles.
I like Spoodles for breakfast.
I don't know.
No,
I've been there for breakfast, but it's got to be 3 years.
I went last year, and I had they have this like never-ending scrambled eggs option. It's like, I forget how much it is, but it's like you can just get as much as you want. It's they give you a plate, and when you finish it, you can ask for more. It's not a bad value, I think. It's a poor man's buffet, really.
It's actually pretty far below average. It's in the unofficial guide, it's 73% thumbs up, where average is 81.
Okay, well, there you go. Dave also writes, question, I'll bet my question is a common question, but maybe not asked. I'm a business executive in my early 50s and have been blessed with good income and saved a lot of money. I want to work to 12 more years, but want to walk away from that thing they call the rat race. Nice carousel of progress.
Nice.
I'd love to work 10 years at a Disney park and interact with guests and make their experience at Walt Disney World a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Income is not an issue. I just want to contribute and have health insurance. Is my situation unique? Does Disney hire people like me? P.S. I don't want to end up boiling hot dogs at Casey's Corner or raking leaves overnight in the park. I'd like a job where I can interact with guests. Do you have any advice on my unusual career path? By the way, the Magic Maker show was the best. Timmy had wonderful stories.
I think Scopa, I think 50 or 60 years ago, back when he was getting ready to retire, considered the same thing. Disney's always looking for people who are willing to work. I don't think that in 10 years' time you're going to have any issue getting hired there, as long as you have the right attitude, and it sounds like you do. The thing that I think Disney would be most interested, though, is in your work experience, and I go back to the issue that we had with Toy Story Mania with the single rider line, where I tried to explain to 2 18-year-old kids why the single rider line should never take longer than the standby line, and the 2 18-year-old kids were trained to do one thing, and that's all they did. It wasn't until I had a guy who looked like he had retired and done the same thing and gone to work for Disney, who had apparently actually been out in the real world. He could use his brain, and who I finally explained to, and then he started moving the single rider line. So I think, if you've got any sort of experience and can use your head instead of just taking orders, Disney will definitely... well, I'm saying that the kids didn't. I'm saying he definitely can. Yeah,
no, absolutely. No, I understand what you're saying. The thing is, though, Dave, if you go into Disney casting and you look for a job, you obviously, it sounds like he wants a park job, not a desk job, which is fine. If you go in there, I can almost guarantee what you're going to get put at, and that's going to be custodial. because they're going to ask you, do you like talking to guests? Yes. And he's going to say, yes, I do. Are you interested, answering questions for guests? Absolutely. That's what he's looking to do. Custodial is actually the position where people who say, I really want to interact with guests the most, they have the most amount of guest interaction because they can wander the parks anywhere. You're not limited to one area. You're seen everywhere. And guests will come to you with all sorts of questions. It's probably an area that, based on that, they likely stick you out. I know that a lot of cast members that I know who are in there say that's what happens. They said they were looking for guest interaction, and you don't get more guest interaction than working custodial. And it doesn't say, well, how do you, cleaning toilets do that? But you're out in the parks all the time, and your job is to really, besides, when something breaks or, something needs to be cleaned up, you have to help, guests out. So it's certainly an option.
We met Danny, right? Who was,
one of our listeners, Danny, who works custodial, and he loves it. Sure, cleaning toilets isn't the greatest thing on earth, but it's that guest interaction that it's unparalleled by any other thing out there besides maybe the Dream Squad.
Yeah, I think he was. He seemed like he really enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. No, he loves it.
Yeah. So,
a little shout out to our boy Danny over there. Who's from?
Danny?
He's near you.
He's from Raleigh. He's from Raleigh.
Good old North Carolina boy. Yeah.
Really? He's from Raleigh? Really?
Oh. Anyway, next email is from Desiree in Texas, who has corrected Matt's pronunciation before, young man. She sends me a link to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Please note, you can click on the speaker and hear for yourself. If you can't say it right, don't say it at all. Sure would hate to have to change my favorite podcast host. She wrote that phonetically so I can pronounce it correctly.
That's awesome.
But I still think it's Pico Spills.
Pecos.
I think lots of things, Matt, but that doesn't make them true.
Like Van Halen's the greatest band out there.
Well, that is true, but of other things, like my superpowers, for example.
Next email.
Would you like to know what they are?
No.
Next email's from Julie, who writes, "Hi guys, I just discovered your podcast and I've been taking so many notes on planning our trip to Disney. We're taking a trip this summer to Orlando with quite a big group. The group will include 6 adults and 4 kids. My husband's parents, me, my husband, our 5-year-old son, our 9-month-old daughter, her age at the time of the trip, my brother and sister-in-law, and their 11-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter. My in-laws have made arrangements for condos for all of us for the first week of July, arriving on July 5th and leaving on the 12th. Some of my major questions and concerns include finding activities which all of us will enjoy, from the grandparents to the older kids to the younger kids, how to handle the heat, how to be realistic about how to budget our time in the park, etc. We're in the early planning stages, but it already sounds like everyone in the family wants to hit different parks in the Disney family and other local parks like SeaWorld. How many days should we budget to see the Magic Kingdom and or Epcot?
Wow. Jeez. I would say at least 3.5.
The problem is the size of the party. I think if the travel party was smaller, I don't think you'd need to allocate as many days. But with so many people, and especially if they're all going to stick together, you need a couple of days.
Yeah, I would say probably 2 apiece, Len.
Yeah, if you're going back to the hotel with small children, then yeah, I think 2 full days at the Magic Kingdom and 2 days at Epcot. You know what? I think that'd be fine. 2 days. You really don't want to. We had a lot of fun going through Epcot this last time, and we didn't really stop and look at doing any shopping or anything like that. You could easily blow 8 or 9 hours easy in World Showcase. If you see every film and do everything. Plus the stuff in Innovations is really neat, and a lot of the presentations at Epcot are quite a bit longer than in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Julie also writes, another major concern, which I have heard is becoming more of an issue at Disney and a lot of other theme parks, is that some of the members of my party are larger people. And there are some concerns about which of the rides will accommodate larger adults. And more importantly, are there going to be rides that kids will want to go on but will require an adult to accompany them but will not accommodate a larger adult? If possible, we will steer the kids away from those rides or figure out beforehand which adults need to try to go on the rides with them. I would hate for any of us to wait in a huge line with the kids and be turned away from getting on the ride. Thanks for the information you can provide. I can't wait to hear your episodes.
So I think Deb's book would have information on the at-large stuff for Deb's website.
Yeah, Deb has a book about special needs. What's the it's not called the Passporters anymore. It's
Open Mouse.
Open
Mouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Deb's website actually has photos of I think most of the ride vehicles where size might be an issue.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would That would cause a problem. Can you?
Space Mountain might be a little rough getting in and out.
Space Mountain.
Spaceship Earth.
Really?
You think so?
Anyways, leg room.
Okay, but you can sit. You can go one and cross your
That's
legs.
true. That's true. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
let the kids hit the button wrong, so you're listening to the wrong language the whole time.
Hey, listen.
That'd just be stupid.
Who would do that? That would just be dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, konnichiwa, by the way.
No, I'll put a link in the show notes to Deb's website as well as her book, and both are excellent resources for finding the answers to that kind of information over there. The book is a great resource, even if if you're getting just that particular topic, because they go in depth with all that kind of information. It's probably your best bet. Next email is from Lou, who's the host of the WDW Memories podcast, who writes, "Hey Fab4, here's a little tip that I wanted to pass on. So my in-laws took their daughter and her family to the Magic Kingdom for a day. 4 adults, 2 children, ages 5 years and 2 years old. I suggested they utilize FastPass and Child Swap to catch as many of the e-ticket attractions as possible. Well, they did. And by doing something I've never heard of, they actually combined the two systems. For example, they would go to Frontierland and get 2 FastPasses for, say, Splash Mountain and 2 FastPasses for Big Thunder. Then they'd wait in the FastPass line for Splash, swap the child, and take the other 2 adults back as part of their Child Swap party. Then they'd perform the same song and dance at Big Thunder, thus essentially giving them 2 sets of Fast Passes for the same hours. So have any of you ever tried this? I was amazed. I've never heard this tip before. Len, have you ever tested this? Anyways, food for thought, gentlemen. Keep up the great work."
Oh wait, so they get 2 fast passes for. So there's 4 adults and 2 kids, right?
Yes, 4 adults, 2 children.
Okay, and they get 2 fast passes for Splash Mountain.
Yes.
Which 2 people walk into the fast pass line?
2 of the adults, and 2 of the adults wait around, I suppose. I guess that's how it's working. 2 Fast Passes for Big Thunder. Yeah, right. So, and then they use the Child Swap ticket.
Okay, and so they get a child swap, right?
Right. And with the Child Swap, it's what's known as a rider switch ticket is what they give you. And it allows for you and up to, I think, 3 other people ride with you. I mean, certainly they can accommodate you if your party's a little bigger than that. They're not going to take a party of 18, but,
All right, so that's the thing. So the two adults go in with the 2 fast passes.
Yep.
They say we're going to do a rider swap.
Yep.
Child swap. They get the tickets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They get the swap tickets. They ride.
Yeah, and then they get to ride it again because they have the Fast Pass.
But
the rider switch is in essence a Fast Pass.
Okay, so but they've given don't they give up the fast passes when they get the rider switch?
Yeah.
I thought you had to have a fast pass for each person going through.
That was my question too. How do you get that extra? How do you get the kid in there unless you
Hide him.
It's a good question, Lou. I know he's a listener to the show. Post something in the comments for the show so we can clarify exactly what's going on.
Yeah. So and do like person 1, person or adult 1, adult 2, adult 3, adult 4, and then the kids.
Yeah, spell it out for us because we're really dumb.
We're simple people. Yeah.
Simpletons. That's right. Next email's from Kim from Laurel, Maryland. Writes, "Mangello fellas, traveling down to the world with my nieces and mom on a holiday that's coming up soon, I'm sure. We'll head down
Memorial Day.
Come back.
They're having a great
Happy
time
Memorial
right now.
Day.
Christmas.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. She could have meant 2009. We don't know that. Anyway.
Right.
So anyway, we're heading down on Wednesday night and leave Monday afternoon. So we'll have Thursday through Monday morning. We can't visit the parks on Saturday until early evening. We're staying on property at the Swan, and we'll most likely have a car. Here are my questions. 2 really quick, and the others 2 should be a breeze for the quote-unquote experts. Is it worth it to get a 5-day park hopper? We could maybe visit Magic Kingdom then on Saturday night. Did this 2 summers ago and took the gotta ride everything pressure off of our full day in Magic Kingdom big time.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, if you look at the incremental cost of the ticket, it's like what, $2 or $3?
Yeah, exactly.
The extra day. Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Finish this question and then segue back to me.
Okay. What is the best full day of those that I have? Thursday, Friday, and Sunday to visit Magic Kingdom and Epcot.
Thursday, Friday,
Sunday. What
Friday.
of the Friday for what?
Friday or Sunday for the Magic Kingdom.
Okay, and what about Epcot? Thursday?
Thursday because it's a Magic Kingdom extra Magic Armor.
There you go. Any ideas for something special we could do with the girls ages 10 to 13 age range? We're probably going to do tea with them at the Grand Floridian, but would like to do something other magical. We're on a moderate budget. Annette, do you have any suggestions of what you've done with your daughters? Because they're around that age. Or is it usually just make sure they don't get into fights with other cheerleaders?
We keep them away from all those other cheerleaders. Yeah. Now
Good times.
my kids get a big kick out of going to Beaches and Cream and getting them humongous sundaes that they can't finish.
Nice.
Does that surprise anybody that my kids like to eat? No.
No, it's a good idea because it's not going to break the bank certainly to go get ice cream, and it's definitely a nice option. I like that idea, Annette.
Well, it makes them talk. You're now especially you've got them seated. They've got ice cream. They're happy. You might actually get a smile out of them.
It's like that. You ever seen that commercial for Royal Caribbean where the family is talking about
where the mom is like,
there's
like she's looking for Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, and it ends up being they're looking for the smile. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it makes no sense. But there's a funny commercial.
I'm living it, so I totally get it.
Good. Well,
there'll be times when like Hannah and I, we'll go somewhere, we'll be in the car, everything will be fine. I'll turn the car off, walk inside, and she'll be in a bad mood. I'm like, what happened in the transition from the garage to the kitchen? It was like literally 10 seconds. She'll walk inside, she'll be in a bad mood.
Oh, you know, Len. Come on. You're supposed to know. They don't have to spell it out for us. I mean, jeez.
I was like, what happened? Everything was fine in the car. What did you? Anyway, I stopped trying to understand it a long time ago.
Kim wrote, would love to get this back before my trip, but I bought the touringplans.com subscription just in case. Thanks for a great podcast.
Thank you.
That was a very smart investment there, Kim.
Yeah, really.
Next email.
Right. So hold on.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Segue.
Sorry.
So, one of the things I was doing for the 2009 edition of the book, is looking at the annual pass discount analysis. Remember, we always try and figure out what the break even is for staying at a value, moderate, or deluxe resort if you have an annual pass.
Okay.
So here's the interesting thing: the average discount right now at a value resort so far this year is only $18 with tax, which means that you'd have to stay 13 nights
at a value.
Yeah, for there to be actually 12 nights for there to be a for you to break even on the annual pass, and even the moderate it went up. Remember last year was like 5 nights,
right?
Now it's 8.
Yeah, I mean to give you kind of perspective, I guess previously you would say, Len, what for a value resort it would be closer to what 10 nights.
It was like 8, 9, somewhere 10 in there, depending on the time of year and the specific discount. But the average discount was like around 9. Yeah. And then the average discount for a moderate was like 5 or 6, and then for deluxes it was 3 or 4, 3-ish.
Well,
but now there's no reason to get an annual pass if you're staying at a value resort.
Purely for discount. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, purely for the discount, right? Yeah, obviously if you're going to park hop and stuff like that. And that's the other thing too. That's just a straight magic your way. It's not a park hop.
Right. That's not taking any other discounts that you could possibly get.
Right. And so moderate, actually, the break even comes on day 8. But the interesting thing is that the value resort, the deluxe resort discount is break evens on day 3. So the average AP discount for value resorts is $18. For moderates, it's $34 a night. And then for deluxes, it's $98 a night. But it's only at like Gold Key West and Saratoga Springs and Wilderness Lodge on average.
Great. Next email is from Mark, who writes, my jello guys, just back to the world. Okay, it's been a month and a half. And I have a question that probably won't make it on the podcast, but appreciate an answer either way. Oh, well, maybe I should have read this before. Although it's frowned upon by some on this podcast, my wife and I took our 2.5-year-old daughter with us. Everyone had a blast, just can't do commando-style touring. Anyways, we've been back for a month and a half now. My daughter still talks about it, wants to watch the videos and look at the pictures. In addition, true to fashion, after spending lots of money on toys and souvenirs, hands down, her favorite souvenirs are the free guide maps to the parks. She loves to point out where everything she saw was and did where it is also. Don't worry, I'm getting to the question. She looks at the maps every single day for 30 minutes to an hour at a time. Well, she is 2.5, so some of them have become ripped and crinkled. I'm sure it'll only get worse over time. So is there any way to get a few sets of guide maps for her to play with? Nothing fancy like the personalized maps you can get on the Disney World website, but just the free ones you get at the park entrance. Is there a number I can call or a website I can go to? I'd obviously prefer to get them for free, but I'd pay $1 or $2 if necessary. Two options come to mind, actually. One is, if you want to do an online one, you can just print them out ad nauseum. Scopey, your buddy, Wilcat, he has a website. I'll put a link in the show notes, too, where he has a lot of the park maps that you can print out. The other option is a lot of people put them on eBay, I've noticed. People come back and they'll put it for like 99 cents, literally.
Yeah, you can buy 5 of them for $6 right now on eBay.
Yeah, so eBay might be the best option. I'm not sure if you can
That's with shipping, by the way.
Yeah, so there you go. And that could be a good option. Anyone else have any other possibilities?
You could actually call Disney, but Bob and I have actually tried this, and you really have to be persistent in asking for them. And if you're paying for the call, it might be cheaper to just go to eBay.
Absolutely.
Didn't the Disney website have a link that you can click and make your own?
Yeah, but you can only buy like one every 6 months. Yada yada yada.
Okay.
Next email is from John Miller of Ash Flat, Arkansas, where it's, hey, Matt, Mike, Len, and Mike. First of all, Len, I just want to let you know that I braved the elements and saw Van Halen in Little Rock, and they were great. I've been a listener to the podcast since the early days, and I have purchased the unofficial guide every year for the last 4 or 5 years. I have not yet purchased the 2008 edition, which means I can't see the online crowd calendar beyond the next month or so. So here's my question for you. For the last 2 years, we've been going to the world during the second week of November and enjoyed very Merry Christmas Party, the $50 cookie, as you might put it. We were thinking of going this year during the second week of October instead to allow us to experience the not-so-scary Halloween party. How do the crowds of October compare to the crowds of November? And what about the weather? I'm a little worried that Food and Wine might make it more of a challenge.
So October 1st is a Wednesday. The second week would be the week of the 13th, Columbus Day week. Mm-hmm. That's going to be kind of busy, Columbus Day itself, but not, overly so. I think we're predicting 7 right now, but all the days around it are 4s and 5s, so that shouldn't be too bad.
And how's
a couple things. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say a couple things to throw in there, Len, too, is they have a golf classic in October, the Funai. The Funai Golf Classic, and there's also 3 races that are being held, 3 weekends of races this year in October, I believe. At least 2, possibly 3.
The thing with the Funai is, that's right, it's over by the Magic Kingdom. So
right.
I think the main thing you're going to see there is that you won't be able to get a room in a Magic Kingdom resort, but other than that, you should be fine.
I think what happens is that the nighttime attendance at the parks are probably going to be high because of people attending those, people going to see the golfers. So
maybe a little bit. I don't know that the people travel that far from out of state though to go to a golf match. I don't know if that's going to draw that many extra people. It might draw locals and stuff, but I don't know that I'd be driving, 500 miles for a. I'm just saying I could be totally wrong. Yeah, I was actually there. I think for 2 of them. Not the last 2 years, but in 05 and 04, I was there. The only issue I had was that when I tried to extend my stay at the Contemporary, I couldn't. Okay. Other than that, the crowds were okay.
Good. Well, while we're talking about crowds this time of the year, let's go to Jan from Grand Rapids, Michigan. All right, hi guys, I adore your show. Here's my question, though. We'll be going down during the week of Halloween, and I'd like to see regular wishes. Will there be any nights that week that don't have Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party? And will they be showing regular wishes rather than Hollow Wishes?
The Monday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday don't have Mickey's Not-So-Scary, leading up to Halloween on Friday. Oh, Halloween's on a Friday this year. That'll be great.
Wow.
Nice.
So those three days. I don't know that there's any. I don't think they're going to do. Mike, you're a bigger Not So Scary fan than I am.
What's the question?
Do they regular wishes or Hollow Wishes on the Not So Scary nights?
On the Not So Scary nights, let me see. I know that
Hollow Wishes, right? If it's a Not So Scary.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking.
If it's not a Not So Scary night, I think is what they're saying.
It's usually wishes. It's usually just regular wishes.
I think it's just regular wishes. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, which is different. I think, Len, you're also mentioning it's something you're drawing upon something here, which goes back to Christmas week. Where during that week, then they do show the Christmas stuff all that
exactly.
week. Right.
Yeah, so I think they
Yeah. Jan also wants to know. Also, it looks like a really good week according to the crowd calendar. Ding.
Yeah.
What do you think? Will crowds stay this low, or do you think they might inch up? We'll be there October 28th to November 2nd.
So it's interesting. The insiders that we have are saying that reservations look down for the fall so far. So the crowds that are there for the summer are there for the summer, but I think the fall bookings are kind of weak, and I think really that's why Disney hasn't posted the November park hours yet, because they're trying to see whether people spend their tax refunds on Disney trips or whether whether Disney really needs to cut back on their park hours to save on their operating expenses.
Okay.
I firmly believe that.
Oh, well, it'll be interesting to see, certainly. What do you guys think? Another Not So Scary Halloween question? Because I just can't get enough of those.
Yeah, nothing says May, Memorial Day like Halloween questions.
That's right. It comes from Stacy from St. Louis, Missouri. Who writes, "Hey guys, thanks for the great shows every week. I have 2 questions. We're going to the world for 10 days at the end of September 2008. I've been trying to find out the date of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party and don't seem to have much luck. Do you know when this party typically starts? I made sure we're going to be in town for the last...
now.
Yeah, it's out. I'm sure you already figured that out on your own. Next question, though. We're interested in attending...
It really starts like a couple days after Labor Day. It starts like the week after Labor Day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. If Disney could, they would...
September 9th.
Yeah, if they could, they would start doing Halloween. Yeah, July. Right after July 4th. Like, bam. Switch, hit a button and all the...
Actually, September 5th. September 5th, I guess, this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. Stacy writes, we're interested in attending a bunch of character breakfasts or dinners. Do you know if there are any places besides Cape May where the Disney characters are dressed up in different quote-unquote outfits? For example, at the Magic Kingdom Liberty Tree Tavern, are Mickey and friends dressed up in 4th of July type attire?
Yes.
Yes. It's not 4th of July. It's like...
it's not exactly 4th of July.
Colonial.
Colonial,
Yeah.
What other places do they dress up or then, something different than their own? Oh, I know where. Garden Grill. It's like Farmer Mickey.
Yeah. They used to dress up like explorers at Breakfastosaurus, but that's no longer around.
But they do a Hawaiian theme with Mickey with a Polynesian shirt over at the Polynesian?
At Ohana.
At Ohana,
I thought it was just Lilo and Stitch.
Breakfast.
Oh, sorry.
Any other places that come to mind?
Cape May Cafe.
Well, that's the one she mentioned, yeah. That's the one. That's where you can find Goofy wearing a midriff, if that really gets you going.
Hey, man.
And that's the only ones that really come to mind. Chef Mickey's, no. Studios, no. Epcot, we mentioned Garden Grill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we forgot anything else, be sure to post them in the comments in this week's show notes. And that's going to do it for us this week, or today, because there's still another show on Friday, don't forget. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Annette Owens, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio. This WDW Today listener question episode is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel. There's just a few days left to get your free copy of the Pocket Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World, the Mini Mickey. Book 3 nights or more by May 31st by visiting mousefantravel.com. Finding the best deals isn't magic, it's mousefantravel.com. This Sunday, it's the next Walt Disney World Today live call-in show. Get your questions answered fast by our panel of WDW experts. Tune in to Mouse World Radio at 8 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday night. You can also log into our chat room during the show at wdwtoday.com. The next WDW Today live call-in show, sponsored by allears.net, 8 o'clock Eastern, this Sunday, only on Mouse World Radio.